So structural geology and rock mechanics, module 3, course names engineering geology and course code 18CV36 for third semester civil engineering session 1. So structural geology and rock mechanics, the introduction of structural geology. So how the structures will formed in a rock. So these in a rock structures will be formed due to the deformation or some tectonic activities like mid-oceanic ridges and continental drifts and or etc. And also with the eruption of magma in the subsurface of earth, the cap rock, if it is ductile form, some tilting or folding structures can observed in a rock. So this deformation, how it form? About 500 million years ago, all continents like American continents, African continents, even this Asia, India and Australia, all these continents will be gathered due to the tectonic activities by mid-oceanic ridges. All continents will start to move away from each other. This our Indian plate will be moving towards Eurasian plate, that is China plate. In between these plates there is a sea. The name of sea is Tethys. That Tethys ocean will be formed in between these Indian plate and Eurasian plate. The whatever deposited sediments will be formed as a sedimentary rock. Due to the force of both sides, those sedimentary rocks are tilted and folded. Now that folded regions called Himalayan ranges. The Mount Everest is the highest peak on earth at 29,028 feet above sea level. The rock at the top of the peak is a marine limestone deposited on the sea floor. This is the best example for deforming the rock. While in deformation process, the stress and strain will be main parameters. Stress is a force applied over an area or on rock material. The stress is nothing but a pressure where the forces act on equally from all directions. Three kinds of differential stress occur. Tensional stress. Due to the tensional stress, rock will be stretches. Then compressional stress, the both side pressure is applying on a rock material, then the particular rock material will be squeezes. And shear stress, where stress applying in diagonal on a rock material. So in that particular rock material can find the slippage and translation. Due to this stress, the rock will be changing its size, shape or volume of that rock is called strain. The strain is also indicate or includes any kind of movement of the material including translation and tilting. So types of deformation, there are three successive stages of deformation. Elastic deformation, where in the strain is reversible, and ductile deformation, where in the strain is irreversible. In ductile deformation is applying high temperature and high pressure and low strain. If strain is low, then high temperature, the mineral will be its uh, in tilting, or that rock material will be in a position of tilting or folding stage. In fracture or brittle deformation, here irreversible strain wherein the material breaks. In brittle material deformation, applying low temperature and low pressure, then high strain. Due to the high strain and low temperature, low pressure, in a rock we can find the rupturing or fractures or breaking. Along that rupturing or breaking, if any moment is applied, so that moment is called faults. If there is no moments, and the particular fractures are called joints. Structural aspects of rocks like outcrop. Then what is outcrop? Outcrop is the in situ rock exposure on surface of the earth. In situ, that is the rock, exposed rock should be host it's related to host rock. Even some boulders will be look like the outcrops, but we are not called that is outcrop. We are calling that is boulder, due to that boulder will be away from the host rock. So if in situ rock is called outcrop. So strike and dip. The strike is an imaginary line along the bedding plane, and the dip is the angle between a horizontal plane and the inclined plane. There are two types of dip. One is true dip, is perpendicular to the strike, and second one, apparent dip, is less than or more than 90 degree to the direction of strike. So why we should measure this strike and dip? For example, while in a field traveling, if we, in our traverse, in some rock, if shows dip towards east, and in same traverse, the another rock bed showing in different direction or opposite direction of dip, so that in particular area we can assume that there may be fault. If any rock shifting either any side, so there we can assume that there may be a fault. So this kind will be more important to analysis or understanding the structure in the particular area. Folds. Rocks bend or fold nature, and the resulting structures are called folds. Or rock noticed any bent or bending nature, that also called folds. So parts of folds, there is a limb. The limb is the sides or arm of a fold. The hinge, the limbs intersects at the tightest part of the fold, and fold axis, a line connecting all points on the hinge, is called the fold axis. The axial plane, an imaginary plane that includes the fold axis and divides the fold as symmetrically, is called the axial plane. So types of folds: monocline folds. So these monocline folds, when horizontal strata are bent upward so that the two limbs of the fold are still horizontal, is called monocline folds. And second one, anticline fold. In the originally horizontal strata has been folded upward, and the two limbs of the fold dip away from the hinge of the fold. In syncline fold is opposite to anticline fold. The originally horizontal strata have been folded downward and the two limbs of the fold dip inward toward the hinge of the fold. And fourth, plunging fold. The fold axis is not horizontal. The fold is called a plunging fold. The plunge, if plunge is inclined, even fold axis will be horizontal. The particular fold is called plunging fold. The fifth is symmetrical fold. The two limbs of the fold dip away from the axis with the same angle is called symmetrical fold, and asymmetrical fold, the limbs dip at different angles. The folds are said to be asymmetrical fold. In overturned fold, the strata on one limb of the fold becomes nearly upside. The fold is called an overturned fold. So inclined isoclinal fold, the fold can close up and have limbs that are parallel to each other. Such a fold is called an inclined fold. The ninth, recumbent fold. An overturned fold with an axial plane that is nearly horizontal is called a recumbent fold. The last one, chevron fold, a fold that has no curvature in its hinge and straight-sided limbs that form a zigzag pattern is called a chevron fold. Thank you.